Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Kadri, your regular host on Break Into Tech. And today on Python programming, we will be discussing Python operators for comparison. And this is part of the series of topics we are going to be talking about, all relating to conditional branching in Python. Conditional branching is just a way of changing the order of operation of the interpreter, of the Python interpreter, so that instead of it going linearly, it can branch and do some other stuff for us, provided that some conditions are met. But we are going to be discussing that in detail later on. But for now, before we go into that detail, it is just necessary that we talk about operators for comparison, because they are really going to be so useful in the journey of the conditional branching. All right, so you might be hearing some noise in the background. Apologies for that. I'm recording in a noisy place, and this is a festive period. Just concentrate on my voice. I'm sorry for that. All right, I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's proceed. Now the first one is the equality. When you want to tell Python that two stuffs are equal, so for instance, A is equal to B, you use the double equality. The reason you use the double equality is because if you had used the single equality, it will look as if you are trying to assign a value to a variable. For instance, if I say, for instance, A is equal to 5, it means I am assigning the variable the value 5 to this variable A, as we've been doing since we started. So, and if I say A is equal to Ima, it means I am assigning the string, the value Ima, to this variable A. So if I say print A, if I ask Python to print A, Python will do just that for me and display the results. If I run it, and then it displays Ima, because I have assigned the value Ima to the variable A. But this time around, we are not assigning anything. We are just trying to tell Python that two sides are equal. So that Python will not be confused whether we are assigning something to something. If I say A is equal to Ima, and I say, because you can still assign a variable to a variable, If I say A is equal to Ima and B is equal to A, and I say print B, both B and A and B are both variables, in this case. But because I have assigned the variable A to B, and I've earlier declared that A is equal to Ima, which means I assigned the string Ima to A. All right, so if I say B, I'm just trying to tell you that it is also possible to assign variables to variables when it comes to assignments, So if you say print B, for instance, and you have already made A to be equal to Ima, if you run it, you are still going to have Ima, So just to tell you that it is possible to assign variables to variables. So in order to make sure that Python is not confused, that you're not trying to assign a variable to another variable, you use the double equality, just to show that, this one is not an assignment, but it is equality. So Python understands that you are trying to make it know that B is equal to A. Do you understand it now? So that is how it goes. So when it comes to equality, you use the double equality. And then when it comes to assigning values to a variable or something, then you use the single equality. So you must take note of that. All right, so let's wipe this out. And then when you say A is double equal to B, all right, it means you're trying to say A is equal to B in the real sense. So when you say A is equal to, and then you put the exclamation mark, then you're trying to tell Python that A is not equal to B. All right. So then when you use this angular brackets facing the left, okay, it stands for less than. So it means A is less than B. And then if you use the one facing the right, it means A is greater than B. And then if you say this, like A is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to B, okay? So just the way you pronounce it is the way it appears. So when you say A is less than or equal to B, so it means that you're going to put the left angular bracket and then equality, and then that does the magic. On the other side too, when you say A is greater than or equal to B, so it means you're going to say, it means you're just trying to tell Python that the value of A is greater than or could be equal to B. All right, so we're going to see how all of these things come to play in the next, from the next video onward. But then let us just play with one little thing here, okay? Take for instance, if I tell Python that A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 7, all right? So obviously you know that A is truly less than B, but if I want Python to display it, okay, to display the comparison, the result of the comparison of A and B, when I say A is less than B, okay, the print statement is not only used to display strings, it is not only used to display stuffs, okay, it can also be used to display the outcome of comparison between two variables, all right? So we know that A is truly less than B, but if you want to be sure about that, if you run this program, it tells you that it is true. All right, if you go to the next line and say print A is greater than B, okay, and then you run the program, we know that A is not greater than B because 5 is not greater than 7, and it tells us false. So we can use the print statement to display the outcome of comparison of two variables very, very well, and it works very fine. So, but then this must be understood, and then in the next video, we see how we could further apply it in Python programming. All right, so this is it for now. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then see you in the next video. Bye.